What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and it looks like we now have KASPA Stratum Bridge updates with official IceRiver support. So hopefully this may work. So I'm going to set this up and show you guys kind of how to set this up as long as I can get this working. But here we can see 1.1.8 with IceRiver support. Add support for IceRiver ASICs, though special configuration is still required, specifically a 2 byte extra nonce as well as an increased minimum share difficulty. Without these settings, you may experience lower than expected hash rates. Please see the README for details. So this was actually brought to my attention in my Discord here from, sorry I cannot pronounce the name, but you can see it all here. So this bridge is working fine for the KS0. You need a minimum 2 to get consistent blocks, and they had the link to the GitHub. You can see the minimum and everything it has here. IceRiver ASICs configuration details. Here is the minimum difficulty for the KASPA ASIC that you're going to need. So for the KS0, you're going to need a minimum difficulty of 65. KS1 is 650. KS2 is 1300. KS3L is 3250. And the KS3 is 5200. So I do have my node box running here. That's where we're at right here. And I'm currently resyncing up the entire KASPA blockchain. Here you can see I'm at 91.4%. Remember, you cannot mine or send coins or anything through your KDX wallet until you are at least 100% in sync with the entire blockchain. So make sure you are fully in sync before you begin mining all that stuff. But for now, we can download this. It looks like there's a bridge for Hive as well, so that's interesting. Anyway, I'm looking for the zip file. That is this guy right here for Windows. So I'm simply going to click on that. We're going to download it, extract it, and go through the setting parameters to see exactly what we got to do here. All right, so once it's all downloaded, obviously, we're going to hit the extract button. I'm going to browse. Now, I can't remember exactly where I have it. I think I have it stuck here in this OneDrive operation for some reason. Yep, there we go, nodes. And there we got KASPA. Let's just click on that. There we go, KASPA Bridge. So I'm actually going to make a new folder here so I don't get things mixed up. New folder. I'm going to call this KASPA Bridge Update. Grab my keyboard here. So I'm just going to go KASPA Bridge. I should actually just put the right version number just so I know. 1.1.8. Good enough. There we go. We're going to enter that new folder in. And now select the folders and extract. Extract. It's broken. Doesn't want to work for me. What's going on here? There we go. Yes, happy days. So that is now extracted. Now we're going to have to begin the setup process. So once you have all that extracted, we're going to open up our config file. There we go. Right click, edit. My mouse is kind of being weird. So everything here should be good by default. So there's our minimum share difficulty. We got to adjust this to the so-called number. So I'm just going to bring up my Discord again. So we need for the KS0, I got one of those, 65. So I'm going to adjust this to a minimum share difficulty of 65. Like so. Now we're going to scroll down, look for that other one. So this was 2, I believe. We'll just jump back in here and see. So yeah, extra nonce size 2. So we're going to adjust that to 2. There we go. That should be all we got to do here. We got our minimum share difficulty at 65. And then we changed this extra nonce size to 2. So we're just going to save this. Like, uh-oh, what did I go to? Stupid thing jumped on me. Oh my gosh. I got a couple nodes actually running, so that could be my issue. So we're going to hit save there. That is now saved. So I'm going to wait for my KASPA node to actually finish syncing, and then we'll fire up that Stratum Bridge there and see if this KS0 will connect and begin mining. All right, so the node is now looking like it's fully in sync. We got DAG sync here of 100%. So I'm just going to click on CASPad so I can make sure everything connects. And we got to go start our Stratum. So I'm going to go into wherever I had this. Where was that? Okay, OneDrive here. Where is Documents, Nodes, KASPA, the latest one, Bridge, and we'll just fire this up right now. So it's going to ask for internet connection. Yes. Run anyway. Do your thing. Yes. Allow access. Get rid of that. And we should see a connection here, right here. So yeah, RPC incoming connection. You guys kind of seen it go right through there. Looks like we're connected to our node. So now we got to see, will our KS0 actually connect and remain connected at this point? All right, so I am in the dashboard of the KS0. I don't know if I have to have the Stratum TCP here or not, but I'm just gonna make sure it's there and see what happens. I'm gonna paste in the node IP here, and then our port is default 5555. So I'm gonna hit save and see if we connect. So there's the save button, it's doing its thing. I'll bring this up and we are getting a connection, which normally I always did, but then it would quickly disconnect right afterwards. So hopefully it remains connected. I'm going to let it sit here for a few minutes. I'm not seeing a disconnect yet. Usually it would have happened pretty much right after it connected. So maybe it's going to begin working. So I'm still going to let it sit for a little bit. Once I get everything kind of knowing that it's going to work, I'm actually going to shut down my KASPA bridge, restart it so that my time starts at 0, and then I can track 24-hour spans here and see, you know, how many blocks we hit per day. Now coming back into the dashboard, it says miner return failed. So if I hit OK, let's see if we're actually getting anything. This is still saying it has a bunch of acceptance stuff there. It's still all there. It's not locked up and stuff like it previously was. So that's interesting. Clicking back on here, we can see that we're getting hash rate now and we seem to be mining. So I think it is working now. So that's awesome. Slight little issue happening in the dashboard there, but it looks like everything's fine. 1281 accepted. What do we got here? Accepted 233. So maybe a reboot. That way I can sync everything up. But for the most part, we can see what we're getting. This is just like looking at the pool. So we can see we're getting 295. Dashboard isn't 100% up to date. This is usually about 5-10 minutes behind. I guess 5 minutes based on everything here. 5-minute hash rate is your quickest one. So maybe this will reset, but usually when you just reset it and switch pools, it starts at 0. But regardless, it does look like we can now solo mine with these KASPA ASICs to our own node. Now, in terms of this KASPA ASIC, how many blocks are we going to have to hit to be on par with a pool? Here you can see the past 24 hours is about 737 KASPA. So I'm going to take 737 and divide that by the current block reward. Now, the current block reward on KASPA, this is where we're sitting right now, is about 195.99. So I'm going to go 195.99, and that is about 3.76 blocks. That means if we find 3 blocks, we're going to have less than the pool. If we find 4 blocks or more, we're going to get more per 24 hours than the pool. Now, judging by my past blocks here, today is the 20th. I have found 3 blocks, depending when they actually count all this, their time zone. I don't know if it's based on mine or not. If we look back yesterday, we did get 1, 2, 3, 4. So we actually would have been slightly more profitable. We look at the 18th, I did only get 3 blocks, and the day before that, only 2 blocks. And then the 16th here, we kind of had a spree of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So that would have been a good day. And then again, here we have 3 blocks, and the 14th looks like we have quite a bit. But you can kind of see what it means here. Some days are going to be less, some days might be a bit more. Overall, in the end, it's really hard to decipher, you know, what's better off. Like, look at this, 7% luck. That's awesome. 55, that's awesome. 221, that sucks. But, you know, regardless, you know, it all comes down to luck base and if it's worth it. This is a fast blockchain, 1 second block. So in theory, solo mining should be fairly decent. But I think, you know, once they do implement those 30 blocks per second and stuff on mainnet, whenever they hit that on their test net, solo mining could be the best option to do when it comes to KASPA, due to that blockchain being so fast. And one last look here at our KASPA bridge. I am noticing the average hash rate. It's only been like a couple minutes. Remember, we started this at what, like 6 or 8 minutes? Actually, we were only uptime for around 7 minutes. So we were a couple minutes into it. Regardless, you know, it's bouncing between 49.3 to 50 gigahash here. So I don't know if we have to do some difficulty adjustments here, possibly upping it a bit more or something, maybe reducing it a bit more, even though we are where we should be for a minimum. But we'll see what happens. Regardless, I'm going to let it run for, I don't know, a few hours. Then we'll kind of come back and see if we hit a block or not, if we can find this in our KDX, or if it actually goes to the wallet address. This is actually a good test for me as well, because I'm not sure where the block goes, if it goes to your wallet you're mining with or to your actual node, because I am using a different wallet address. I'm using my Tangem hardware wallet to mine with, and again, obviously we're on our node here, so it's going to be interesting to see where the block reward actually goes, if we even find one. But I'm going to let it run for a few hours. We'll cut back and kind of see what things are looking like. Okay, so I actually want to bring something up that I messed up, and I'm telling you I messed up, and I'm kind of glad I messed up, because then I'm sure a lot of you guys may have ran into this issue as well, and this will show you what not to do so you don't mess up. So, you know, this is a learning for all of us, and, you know, I should have known this in the first place. But right now, you can see I was at 50 gigahash it was going for about an hour, hour and a half, still 50 gigahash. I went into my dashboard, it was showing 50 gigahash. We can see here 53, but we're going to bring that back up here, and you can see now we're sitting at around 120, and actually boosted and started at, like, I don't know, something crazy here. Let's scroll all the way to the top. Not too far. I want to kind of show you. So 184. I can't get to the very, very top here. I guess maybe no, it's not going. Come on. It was like in the thousands. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was at like 1 terahash. But the point is, we're hashing where we should be. Now this will slowly slow down until we actually hit our average hash rate and be where we're supposed to be. So what I want to point out here is when we come into here, you know, you saw me set this all up. Minimum share difficulty 65. Your extra nonce here size of 2. But I still had this little hashtag symbol or whatever in front of it. So you actually have to get rid of that symbol or it won't imply these type of commands. And I knew that already, but I totally forgot about it. I was just doing it quick and fired these in to see if we can get solo mining. And I had it broken. So we did connect. This new update does work, but to get it set to what we need to do based on the README, you have to get rid of that hashtag. And now you can see everything is probably where it should be. Now, if I scroll up, I actually noticed this because I was still at 50 gigahash. It was going for about an hour and a half. I stopped it, and you can see right there underneath initializing bridge where it says extra nonce size there of 2. It still said 0, and it had a minimum difficulty of like 0 or 1, or it was blank or something. I can't remember what it was, but it didn't have the numbers I had, and I was like, what's going on? It didn't even apply what I needed. About an hour and a half later, I noticed that. So now we can see what happened. I went back into that config and I had those hashtags still in there. So make sure you remove those to get your parameters to actually work. They will not work with that there. So now I think we're hashing where we should be. I got a nice reset node here. So now we're 6 minutes in. We're fully connected right off the get-go. So I'm going to let it sit again and see if we hit a block. Okay, so here we are. It has been running for about 16 hours and 58 minutes, and it does look like we have found 2 blocks. Now, the KASPA does go to the wallet address that is in your miner, just like when you're setting up a pool. It does not go directly to the node only, unless you obviously use that address to mine with. So here we have 2 blocks. We do need 4 blocks per day to be slightly better than a pool. That means a block about every 6 hours until more hash rate goes online. Then you have to do more calculations. But it does look like we're averaging about 102 gigahash, which is very interesting because on pools we were around that, you know, 92 to 95 gigahash range. So we're getting a slight bit more hash rate. Now, how accurate it is, I don't really have an idea. Regardless, point is, we found blocks. The KASPA node in Windows is working, and we're mining to it with IceRiver ASICs. Thank you for checking out this video. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.